is stress? What is anxiety? About 1 out of 13 people suffer from this mental illness every day, and only about 37% seek professional help. So what is stress? What is anxiety? In this video, we will talk about how we can help ourselves and others from this mental illness. So right now I'm here with Annika Lee, a spokesperson for ADA. So Annika, what is stress?
Stress is one of the biggest mental illnesses in Canada. And when the body is stressed, it activates a fight or flight response, which prepares the body for physical action. And if it's left untreated, it will cause a higher risk of cancer, cause of memory loss, insomnia, and other mental illnesses.
There are three kinds of stress: acute stress, episodic acute stress, and chronic stress. Acute stress is characterized by the development of severe anxiety, dissociation, and other symptoms associated with anxiety. Episodic acute stress is experienced when an individual experiences acute stress frequently. People who suffer from this tend to always be in a rush. Chronic stress makes individuals feel burned out constantly. They cannot see a way out of a problem and often deteriorate into depression. Hi, my name is Dr. Sandra Lee, and today I'll explain what anxiety is. So what is anxiety? Anxiety is a general term for several disorders that cause nervousness, fear, apprehension, and worrying.
There are many forms of anxiety, and this includes generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, agoraphobia, OCD, and PTSD.
Generalized anxiety disorder, also known as GAD, is a common anxiety disorder characterized by uncontrollable worrying. Sometimes people worry about bad things happening to them or their loved ones, and at other times they may not be able to identify any source of worry. Panic disorder is a condition that causes panic attacks, which are moments of extreme fear accompanied by a pounding heart, shortness of breath, and a fear of impending doom. Agoraphobia is an anxiety disorder in which you feel fear and avoid places or situations that might cause you to panic and make you feel trapped, helpless, or embarrassed. Obsessive compulsive disorder, also known as OCD, is when teens with OCD have consistent thoughts that compel them to do things. They feel like they must control their lives by doing the same ritual. Example, checking, touching, or counting things. Post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD, follows a traumatic event or threatened traumatic event often associated with war. Teens with PTSD startle easily, feel emotionally empty, and can even be violent.
Now an interview with Miss Sui.
Today we have Ms. Sui, our grade 10 counselor. So Ms. Sui, how would you compare the level of stress and anxiety of students from 20 years ago to now? Do you think it's better or worse?
So having had my own experiences and reading research and studies on this matter, I do think stress levels amongst our current teens is much higher than the stress levels I experienced as a teenager 20 years ago. Say, your teenage years, grade 15 or so. We had your typical social issues, friends, boys, kind of fights between people you didn't like, your spats, and then your parents nagging and bossing you around, and sibling stress. We were stressed a little bit about marks, but it really wasn't so much at the forefront of school. School was still very much relaxed, and we could have fun. And then marks were just kind of like, they were there, but they weren't the be-all, end-all. The stress that your current grade and teens are experiencing now seems to have really escalated, and marks are really, really important. The marks to get into universities are much higher than they were when I was in high school. I think like 10% higher. So if you think of an average, that's a lot to change in that amount of time. The stress that you experience with friends is so wide because of social media. You experience it at school, you experience it at home, you experience it everywhere because you have your phones with you. When we had social stress, it was only at school, but when we went home, it wasn't there anymore. We didn't have computers or anything like that to expand our social stress outside of school. And then stress with families, I think parents are really stressed now as well, and you can feel that pressure going down to teenagers and having more responsibilities, and just so many more issues are arising.
All right, question 2. How do you think that level of stress affects students?
I think it really affects students because you feel it, you think it, you experience it. So the stress kind of permeates through all parts of your life: school, family, friends, personal life, your sleep, your eating. And stress can be really beneficial. We know stress is healthy. Some amount of stress is healthy, but we also know stress can be really unhealthy, and it's leading to a lot of problems like anxiety and depression if students aren't able to deal with it. So stress is definitely one of those things that we're never going to get rid of it. It's always going to be around, but it's how do you react to it? How do you respond to it? How do you adapt and figure it out?
Okay, last question. What advice would you give the students who are suffering with stress and anxiety?
So it's really important to figure out where that stress is coming from, and if it's possible to control or limit that stress. So if it's stress from, like, say, not having enough time, well, why are you not having enough time? Are you trying to do too much? Are you wasting time on your phone or watching TV? Or where can we change the timing to change the level of stress you're experiencing? So it's really important to figure out where is it coming from, because oftentimes you can do small changes to make really big effects on stress levels. So once you identify it, and if you figure out you can't control it, because some things are not controllable. We cannot control people, we cannot control future situations, we cannot control things that are unpredictable. So then you have to figure out, how do you deal with it? So you can absorb it, you experience it, and then let it go. There's self-care methods of, exercise really, really reduces stress. Mindfulness, calm breathing, prioritizing, writing things down, journaling, some kind of expression, art, music, sports, just talking to friends, having someone to talk to, talking to an adult who maybe have different opinions and experiences than a friend, because a friend might kind of exacerbate it because they don't have the experience that, say, an adult would. And then finding someone that you can connect with, because then you feel like you're not alone and you feel like you're not going through it by yourself. So if you feel like you're going through it together, you have some help, have support, then it can limit the stress you're feeling, because it really is an interpretation of events. Two people can be experiencing the same thing, but one person is stressed and one person is not. So it's figuring out your own stress levels and how to learn from it, really, because it's a lifelong skill.
All right, thank you, Ms. Sui, and yeah, that's all of our interview.
Both anxiety and stress are related to life coping. Dealing with a lack of coping skills will often lead to anxiety, then stress, or vice versa. If your body is stressed, your body will produce more adrenaline, cortisol, and neurotransmitters, which make your body harder to regulate normally. Both anxiety and stress lead to negative thinking. If negative thinking influences your life for the future, you will often think you have troubles. And if these troubles worry you, it will create anxiety, and so on.
Today we're lucky to have Miss Dr. Sandra Lee talk about all the places that you can go for treatment for all these mental illnesses.
Hello, my name is Dr. Sandra Lee, and I could tell you places that you can get treatment from in Vancouver. One is called Anxiety and Stress Help, which is located in 3433 Granville Street, and the phone number is 604-742-1923. Another place that is also close by is Vancouver Anxiety Stress Center, which is 400 to 601 West Broadway. The phone number is 604-259-0627. And a place that is a bit farther but is still pretty close is Alpine Anxiety Stress Relief Clinic, which is 302 to 1401 West Broadway, 604-732-3930. You could also search places up if you don't live near those places. Thank you.